All right, today we're jumping in the passenger seat for a real world test of Tesla's latest full self driving software. And what's really turning heads this time around isn't just how it drives, it's how it listens.
So, let's start with a moment that honestly feels like the future just showed up a little early. The driver tests out Tesla's new voice AI, Grok, with a pretty complex trip plan. And wow, the system just gets it on the very first try. I mean, this is that seamless human machine stuff we've all been hearing about for ages.
Okay, so here's how we're gonna break this whole thing down. First, we'll look at that new voice command. Then we'll get into the tactical wins, the stuff the car does incredibly well, and contrast that with its, well, strategic flaws. We'll also dig into why drivers still have to intervene, and then wrap it all up by asking, what does this all mean for the dream of a robo-taxi future?
First up, let's talk about the big new thing, that Grok-powered voice navigation. I mean, the real question is, can it actually understand how a real person talks? Not just some stilted robotic command.
And honestly, this is a huge leap forward. Instead of that old clunky system where you had to punch in every single stop, maybe even in reverse order, the driver just talks to it. He lists three different places, just like you would to a friend, and bam, Grok gets it, lines up to route, and is ready to go. It just makes a complicated task feel incredibly simple. Okay, so the voice commands are cool, but let's get into the nitty-gritty. How does the car actually handle the chaos of a real drive? This is where you can see that FSD has gotten, well, incredibly smart.
Now, to really get what's going on, the driver makes this really important distinction. Think of it like this. There's tactical driving, which is all about the immediate, in-the-moment reactions. Dodging a pothole, braking for a car that cuts you off. And then there's strategic driving, which is the long-term, big-picture plan for the whole trip.
And man, this is where the car is just brilliant. Tactically, it's a star. It sees an emergency vehicle on the shoulder and moves over. No problem. It spots construction workers in the median and gives them space. Another car merges poorly. It just kind of shuffles over a little bit to accommodate. It even fixed an old bug where it used to be way too timid getting on the highway. I mean, these are seriously human-like reflexes we're talking about.
But, and this is a big but, when you look at that big picture, the strategic stuff, the system shows some, let's just say, pretty frustrating flaws. The driver doesn't mince words. He flat out says the car sometimes just makes stupid decisions.
So what you end up with is this weird split personality. The car is an amazing tactician, right? It can handle anything you throw at it in the moment. But it's not a very good strategist. It's kind of like a chess player who's a genius at the next move, but has absolutely no idea how to plan for a checkmate 3 or 4 moves down the line.
I mean, here are a few examples. It'll see a green light up ahead, but approach it so timidly that it turns red, and suddenly you're stuck there for a pointless 90 seconds. Or it'll get stuck behind a super slow truck when it could have easily just changed lanes and gone around it. It even tries to navigate into a locked employee entrance at the post office. So look, these aren't safety problems, but they are just common sense failures that you or I would never, ever make.
So all of this brings up a really key question, right? If the car is so good at the tactical, safety-critical stuff, why does the driver still have to jump in and take over? Well, the driver says he uses FSD for about 75% of all his driving. And hey, that's a huge number. It really shows you how capable the system is. But it's that other 25%, that's where the real story is.
So yeah, what exactly is going on in that last 25% of the time?
And here's the key thing. It's not always about saving the car from a crash. Not at all. Most of the time, he's taking over to correct the car's bad strategy. Like he has to slow it down because it's speeding, or he overrides a dumb decision that's wasting time, or he fixes a simple navigation error. So really, he's intervening for efficiency and for his own sanity, not just for safety. Okay, so when you put all this together, the amazing tactical skills, the frustrating strategic mistakes, and why the driver has to step in, it all points toward that big, ultimate goal, robo-taxis. So the question is, are we actually close? And hey, this isn't some sci-fi movie. The driver points out that Tesla is already testing fully driverless cars in Austin, Texas, right now. This is the groundwork being laid for that future where you just pull out your phone and summon a car with nobody in it. Which brings us to a really interesting, kind of provocative final question. If a robo-taxi gets you from point A to point B perfectly safely, do you even care if it makes a stupid decision and wastes 90 seconds at a red light? I mean, think about it. If you're just a passenger, would that little bit of inefficiency even matter to you, as long as the ride felt completely safe? In the end, the driver's take is, I'd say, cautiously optimistic. Yeah, the system is far from perfect, but its ability to recover from its own little mistakes, that shows a whole new level of maturity. He has a great phrase for it: graceful failure. And I guess that leaves us with one final thought. How much grace are we, as future passengers, willing to put up with on this road to a fully autonomous world?